We have a problem. Mario Kart 9 exists, which was rumored, but now it's confirmed. Well, wait, I don't know what it's called. You don't know what it's called. But I'm looking at the wrong side of the camera again. It's Mario Kart 9, essentially. There's so many games coming out this year that I am like very interested in, that I'm very concerned about how I'm going to spend my time playing them. Especially these first two that I'm going to talk about, because they are sequels to probably the two games that I've spent the most time with, period, of any like individual game. And they're both either coming out this year or partially coming out this year. It's a little overwhelming, but also very exciting, and there's also so many more games. I'm still looking at the wrong side of the camera. What is wrong with me? 2025 is starting to feel like it's gonna top 2023 in terms of being the best game, the best year for video games ever. It tends to kind of feel like this going into each new year, but this one feels a little bit different. I did not say this going into 2024. 2024 ended up being very good, but it still doesn't stack up to 2023. But I think this year is going to rival it. Remember, I will be doing a Game of the Year tier list video for 2024. I just gotta play a few more games first before I do that. So here are my most anticipated games for 2025 that are mostly either confirmed for this year or assumed to be coming out this year. Number one is now Mario Kart 9. Like, come on, this is ridiculous. Mario Kart is incredible. I love everything about it. Mario Kart 8 is basically a perfect video game. I don't know what they're gonna do here, but I want it. I don't really care, it doesn't matter. I'm going to play this game every day. And here's the problem, because guess what? My number two most anticipated game technically is only releasing in early access this year, which I'm usually against early access. I don't like playing early access games. I skipped Hades 2 last year because I want to play it this year in its full release. But with this game, it's special, and I'm gonna do it. I don't know if it's gonna fully release this year, probably not, but since it's the one game that I'm going to allow early access to invade me, I'm not gonna edit that out. That doesn't make any sense. Maybe you know what I mean. Don't take that out of context. As if there is context. Slay the Spire 2, you knew I was gonna say that. Again, like I said, Mario Kart 8, especially if you consider Mario Kart 8 and Deluxe put together as an individual game, and then also Slay the Spire, probably the two individual games that I've spent the most time with, I would think. Otherwise, it's gonna be one of the Smash games, or like a Call of Duty. Yeah, this is kind of ridiculous. Slay the Spire, one of the best games ever made. So easy to just spend hundreds of hours playing and not get bored of it, which is seemingly impossible. It doesn't make any sense. How does that work? I don't know. But they're finally doing a sequel, and I'm very excited for that, of course. And then why not make this list more ridiculous by doing some sort of pseudo sequel to what is probably the best game ever made? How are these all coming out in the same year? I don't know. Elden Ring, Night Rain. Like, okay. This might, I mean, you can't really be higher than those top two for me, but I guess this would be because From Software is my favorite developer. This isn't a fully real From Software game, and I don't know what to expect from it. So I'm like 5% worried, but that's really the maximum amount I can be worried about a From Software game. We'll see how it goes. At first, I thought it was gonna be more Monster Hunter adjacent, and I was really excited. Reading about it afterwards, it's not quite like that, so I'm a little bit apprehensive, but in reality, I know it's gonna be great, and I'm very excited about it. Then we have Hades 2, which, the Hades, again, another essentially perfect video game. The art is beautiful, the music is beautiful, it is so smooth to play, it is so satisfying, the difficulty ramps up perfectly. I love all of how the systems interlock and how you upgrade stuff. Fantastic. I have completely avoided all information about Hades 2. Don't want to know, I just want to go in blind when it actually releases. I'm sure it is also fantastic, Supergiant. One of the best in the business, no doubt. All of their games have been amazing, except I didn't really like Bastion. I'm just saying, I didn't really like it. And let's do some more heavy hitters. Let's get Kojima in here too, why not? Death Stranding 2. What the hell? Kojima, one of the most talented people in the business, and his team is incredible. Death Stranding was so weird, but also just so amazing. The acting in that game, is amazing. There's actually one scene, I'm not gonna spoil it, that I've gone back to watch a couple times over the years just because it's performed so well and it's like not even a main character. It's kind of crazy. Die Hardman. That's all I'm gonna say. You probably know what I'm talking about. Maybe. Well, if you know the game. But yeah, freaking Kojima is a mastermind. This game's gonna be ridiculous. Super looking forward to this. And now here's one that might not come out next year, but it is rumored to, and obviously it's been cooking for a long time. Why not throw in an equally incredible person to Kojima with Ken Levine, Judas? If all these games come out this year, I just don't, how is this possible? This doesn't make any sense. The spiritual successor to BioShock. Why not? Let's just throw that in here. Looks incredible. I have no doubts that this game is going to be amazing. Very excited about it. Would not be surprised if it doesn't come out this year. Would not be surprised if it does. Next two up on the list, and again, I'm doing these in order. I try to order them in order of how excited I am for them. And I'm still very excited about these next two games, and they're actually imminent, coming out in the next month or two, which is crazy. We have Split Fiction. Super excited to see this announced at the Game Awards, and then they're just like, it's coming out in 3 months, by the way. The spiritual successor to It Takes Two, which is hilarious. I'm replaying it right now with somebody, and it's just so funny. Dr. Hakim, one of the best video game characters of all time. He is so funny. I literally start laughing when he shows up on screen before he even says anything. Every time he shows up on screen. How's that possible? I don't know. But this looks great. It looks like a different take on a similar formula, so I'm totally in on that. Why not? And then another game that's imminent, like I said, Monster Hunter Wilds. Dude, Monster Hunter World was incredible. It got me into the series. Monster Hunter Rise, a little bit of a step back because it was stuck on the stinky Switch, but that's okay. Now this, probably gonna be a combination of both of the two, because there were things that were better in Rise, but overall I liked it less, because I feel like it really benefits from the scale and the spectacle of World, so this feels like a combination of both. Very excited to play this game for many hours. I would say that is the top echelon for me for anticipation. There's a little bit of a fall off here, but not a lot. The biggest fall off is after like the first two, and then those last like 6 or so are all pretty compact, very excited for. Basically still 10 out of 10 excitement for, like, how can you have 10 out of 10 excitement for like 8 things? I don't know, but I do. Anyways, a little bit of a step down here because I actually didn't like Borderlands 3 that much, but I played it by myself, so I think that was my own fault. And the story was distractingly bad in that in comparison to before where it was a little bit more ignorable. I guess. But Borderlands 4, I mean, I'm excited for it. I used to really like Borderlands. Borderlands 1 and 2 I was obsessed with, so I'm excited to jump back into it. Hopefully you can find some people to do a full playthrough with, at least one person. I don't know who that's gonna be, but that would be great. I just love the loot system and how you can customize your characters, and the gunplay feels really great in all the Borderlands games. So I'm sure I'm gonna have a great time with that. Speaking of great gunplay, we also have Doom: The Dark Ages. Let's throw a Doom game in here. That would just be wonderful, wouldn't it? Let's just get every genre covered. Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal are incredible shooters, and this, again, is gonna be no different. I'm very excited for this. Also, it's a little bit more medieval, which is generally the time period that I like to play games in. I don't really like sci-fi at all. I can enjoy things that are sci-fi, but if something's more like fantasy, which this is kind of like pushing in that direction, I'm like, okay, and so I'm gonna like this more than the last two, okay. And now we have Rift of the Necrodancer. Very excited for that. Now here's another random sequel that actually looks amazing because the original was great. Crypt of the Necrodancer, remember that? It's a good game, go play it if you like rhythm games and or roguelikes. It's a little bit difficult, especially if you're not good at rhythm games, but it's great. Phantom Blade Zero looks incredible. It's totally gonna depend on what it actually feels like to play. I'm definitely skeptical here. It could be bad. Games that have intense melee combat are very easy for me to judge because I'm always comparing them to From Software. Not that it has to feel identical to From Software for it to be good or for me to like it, but it has to have that satisfaction. And if it doesn't, it can fall flat, but just by looking at it, it looks great. And then I got a bunch here that I'm like mostly excited for. I would be more excited for them if there wasn't all these 10 or so other games above it. I'm gonna list them off a little bit faster because I don't have a ton to say about them, and I'm not 100% confident that I'm gonna love them or that I'm even gonna get them at launch necessarily. We've got Avowed, Ghost of Yotei, Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers, and The Outer Worlds 2. Just a bunch of either RPGs or sword combat games that I either am or I'm not gonna like. It's totally gonna depend on the reception, I guess. Then I have a few written here with some question marks because I don't know that much about them. I don't have a familiarity with either the series or I'm unsure about the developer. Atomfall, don't really know anything about it. I haven't looked into it enough, but we'll see how it performs when it comes out. Fable, I have no history with the franchise, but I would be down to try it out again if it releases and people are really into it. And Metal Gear Solid Delta, I kind of just want to ignore it because I feel like I'm being mean to Kojima if I buy this game. I don't know. It just feels weird. I might ignore this game, but if people are really into it, I might check it out. And last but least, GTA 6. Because fuck Rockstar. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to buy this game. What's my intent? My intent of purchase of GTA 6 is so that I can have an opinion on GTA 6. That is my primary intent. Like with some other games that I've bought, knowing or thinking that I wasn't going to like them. I just like having opinions, if you can't tell. And I want to be able to talk about it, so I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna be one of the freaking 150 million people that probably buy this game. I don't like Rockstar. I think Red Dead 2 is one of the biggest letdowns of all time in games for me, because I loved Red Dead 1. And I think that they are the single most overrated, easily most overrated developer in the business. And I want them to prove me wrong, that they can like pull off great feeling gameplay, because I just don't think they can. They never have, and I want that because then I could enjoy the game. But we'll see. As you can see, I'm being a little bit negative here at the end. I saved it for last just to be positive the rest of it. I would love to like it, but they gotta prove it. They gotta earn that from me. But yeah, that's my list. There's probably other games. I just like briefly looked through a couple lists of games that are coming out this year. Obviously with the Switch 2 coming out, there's gonna be something else probably other than Mario Kart. And there's always games that just like sneak in here. Who knows if we're gonna get a Hollow Knight? Maybe that'll happen. I don't know, probably not. It doesn't seem like that's ever happening. But that would be on this list if I felt any sort of confidence about it coming out. And I'm sure there's many more that I'm missing, but the 15 minutes that I spent looking up what's actually coming out this year, this is my list from top to bottom, most to least anticipated. Of course, I ignored plenty of games that are coming out that I'm not interested in, or think that I'm not interested in. That could change. There's some games that I think I'm not gonna be interested in, then it comes out, and then people are really ecstatic about it, and then I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'll try it. And then I'm like, okay, I should have been excited for this. But that's better than the opposite. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking. This video is very long, much longer than I anticipated it to be. I hope you enjoyed watching. Maybe you learned about a game that you were unaware of. Let me know. And let me know how you feel about the video. Go and comment. Hey, cheese nips. Don't do that. If you haven't been watching my streams recently, even if you have, that was probably very jarring to hear me say that. So I'm gonna end the video now and not explain why I just said that.
Thank you to those currently supporting me on Patreon. We have BioBadger, The Mex Factor, Scion, Kinoth, and Hookie.